Welcome. Oh my god, it's my face. I decided to do that for whatever reason, I don't know. But here we are. So today, it's kind of a random weird stream thing set up. Because what I want to do is basically go over what I've been working on, considering I haven't been working on stream like I had been for a while. And then and I'm going to go over it in kind of like a sprint demo sort of style, which for those of you, I guess, who aren't familiar, a sprint demo in the software world is where you go over what you've been working on with your customer, usually. So I guess my Twitch viewers are like my customer in this case. But I plan to do it upload it to YouTube as well, and then probably do like once every other week, depending on how much work I get done. So anyways, I'm going to start just today, kind of do it fast and loose. I was going to try to make a presentation that was more 3D because, well, I didn't really know, I didn't really want to use PowerPoint originally, but in the long run, like I spent a while doing this and realized that I was reinventing the wheel in many ways, and it was taking me kind of a long time. So I will end up using slides, unfortunately, for a little bit, but hopefully over time, maybe I can, if I keep doing these and I keep working on my presentation skills, then I can use like this 3D tool, which will hopefully be more engaging than just like showing slides. So yeah, anyways, welcome. This is my 3D controller. It's under construction, hence the cone. I was going to talk about first the art panel that I've been working on, which Nina's here in chat, which is awesome because she also has been working on it with me. And then probably switching to talk about the Toaken Roller. And then finally, I will switch from like a more high level, because this first section will just be high level, and then I'm going to talk more in detail about the actual tech side of it. So how I implemented it and more about the code. Tobinoff, what's up? How's it going, Tyler? So yeah, the first thing I was going to talk about is first I feel like I need to introduce Scary Pastry. I don't think they're here, but they are my resident guinea pig. That's why this is here. They are my guinea pig. So for the art panel that I was working on with Nina is a Twitch extension, and Pastry is the streamer who has it installed, and they use it on their page. So it shows up on their about page, like right here, and I'll show that again later. And here's kind of a close-up of it. So this panel lets Pastry upload art that they made during stream. They make these scuffed art from like in Paint. they have a thing set up on their stream where they redeem it, and then they get this scuffed art, and then on their stream they draw it, and then they'll upload it afterwards. So they were sending them on Discord, and we made this little panel. Nina and I worked on it to give him a place, basically give them a place to upload it. So this is Pastry, for those of you who don't know who he is. He is a VTuber ghost, a ghost donut, Scary Pastry. And this is him throwing it back. Wait, did I miss it? This clip is like a long loop. Hold on. We have to get to the good stuff. But yeah, he plays different games on stream. There it is. He does do some game dev stuff too, so definitely go check him out. That's Scary Pastry. He is my guinea pig. So I guess I'll show real quick what that looks like on his page. So when you go to Twitch, these things down here, for those of you who really don't use Twitch much, there's your about page, and in the about page you can have these panels. So most of the time they're just like an image or some text, the way that these ones are set up. But you can add and develop, if you know how, an extension that will basically load a web page for you. So this one here is the one that I worked on, and it shows, you know, it's got this background, it's got a little caption, and then an image. And so Pastry can upload his picture and the caption and just set them dynamically. And we get these little buttons here. They've got hover and click, they change. So now when somebody redeems an art piece made by Pastry, they can upload it and then it'll show here and be immortalized rather than just putting it in Discord. So this here was kind of like a proof of concept in a couple ways. It's like first to figure out how to make an extension and what it would be like to develop for Twitch. And this was kind of my first foray into web development, because this is all just basically building a website. There's Jideo. So this was my first path, I guess. This is the first thing that I was working on. Let me, how do I, yeah. Okay, now we have to go to the slideshow. Okay, so that's Pastry. Overall, it has been seen quite a bit. So Pastry usually has like, 20 to 30 people watching him. And even still, there was over almost 2,000 impressions in the last month for these photos, which is sweet. And I guess I just thought it was cool, like some of the stats for where people were at. Oh, you can't really see all of that because of my fat head. But United States, Canada, Philippines, Chile, New Zealand. You can see like most people are in the US. Yeah, Nina's down here. Nina's definitely the one in Chile. So she's got 3.51% of the data was sent to her. But you can see quite a few people in here. And yeah, I feel like for, oops, how do I go back in this? Okay, there we go. For like, a pretty simple development, this maybe took like a week or so, having almost 2,000 impressions on this, it feels pretty good. I'm happy that this has been able to be viewed and seen that many times, which is cool. So there's some, I guess, some limitations to where we're at right now. The first is I put this little code stamp in here because, as you can see, the user, even if you know nothing about code, the user is hard-coded, meaning it's set at development time, like build time. It is only going to work for Scary P and Scary P only, and they're the only person ever who can use it right now. So obviously that doesn't really work if you're going to give it to people, to more than one person. So right now only Pastry can do it, and it was really just a proof of concept and a prototype. So there wasn't ever a plan for anyone else to use it, and I just kind of hard-coded them in. So there's definitely a limit that needs to be broken here, which is to get other people access and allow a more wide range of users. And then there is a limitation right now on the free plan. So this is my plan usage, which is free, and they call them credits, but it's basically gigabytes. So there's 25 gigs total, and we've only used 0.2 of 1 gig because it's really just Pastry uploading those little images in Paint. There's really not that many. So that really shouldn't be a problem yet, but when you open it to a broader audience, if there's like 25 gigs worth of data, if I go over that, I have to start paying something. So right now, basically free, but it would cost money eventually. With that being said, then what would we do further? I mean, how would I turn this into any kind of profit? Because again, like the whole point of me doing most of this stuff is I'm not working a traditional job right now. I'm just sitting here in my basement, hopefully eventually being able to earn money. So basically the plan is to have 2 different tiers. There'd be the free tier, which needs to be the first step, I think, just to have some easy place to head to. And so the free tier would be, just a general use panel. We'd remove the hard coding of Pastry's name so we can get other users involved. And then there would be probably some kind of upload limitation. So anyone could install the extension. I guess an important thing to talk about is how people get this. There's basically no real way to ever be found just by the extensions browse page, because it's really just featured extensions, and then there are these discover extensions. But you can imagine, like, there's no feed here really. These are all big brand name extensions. Destiny 2, League of Legends, League of Runeterra, Hearthstone. They're huge names and they're huge extensions. So you're not going to be found here. You could maybe get discovered if somebody clicked like view all and then they went through here and scrolled to yours, but it's honestly not very likely. So there's probably just word of mouth or some other kind of marketing to get here, or to, you know, to end up here. But it's really easy to install a panel. So you would just go to the panel, you would click install. Mine's already installed, but I'll uninstall it so I can do it again. You just click install. If there's configuration, you would set it, but there isn't even any for this. And then I can activate it as a panel that I already have configured, or I can make a new one. And if I go to my channel now, so we're looking at pastries earlier, but if we go to my about section down here, you can see it shows up like right here. And that's it. So it's very easy to get people to use a Twitch extension. I guess I just wanted to stop and say what this even was or how they get, you know, installed. But returning back then, so basically there'd be a free tier, so anyone could come and install it just like I did, and then there would be a little configuration page in here. So this one's blank. There's nothing here because there's nothing to configure, but the configuration for the user, like a more general purpose user, would come here, and then they'd have to have an upload and download, you know, thing, or an upload and arrange thing for their images and all the configurations. So that would be the free tier. And then because it costs money to host anything online, I would have to limit users to some amount of data. Like, let's say they could upload 10 images or something, or under, you know, however many kilobytes. I'm not really sure, but the point is it would be limited. And then the actual way to earn money through this extension would be to have a paid tier. So essentially something where a person could subscribe or pay like some monthly fee. I don't know exactly what that would be, or I mean how much it would be, and it would unlock different features. So it'd give them more storage space, different customization options, gifts, and things like that. I left it off both lists. Nina was going to make, or is planning to make themes. So right now, the pastry panel is very much targeted to pastry, of course. Yo, who is that? A data daughter? Oh, nice. So this one is very much tailored towards pastry because they're a donut, and this is sprinkles, you know, and the coloring and the themes. Thanks for the follows, guys. I appreciate it. The coloring and the theme and all that stuff, it's very specific to them. But you could imagine that we could have some generic themes like Halloween or Christmas, or it could be like a spooky thing. So Nina and I have worked kind of separately from all this to plan out how to work together on making this sort of art panel. And her goal was to work on making some themes. So I don't know if it'd be in free tier or cost tier, or maybe some of them would be in free tier, and then there would be the paid tier would unlock more of them. But different themes for the buttons and images and stuff like that, the way that it looks besides the picture itself. And yeah, I don't know exactly how that will happen just yet, but the first step is certainly the free tier. So I won't have any connection for like payments. I won't have any connection for adding more than like 5 images per user or something, and just get down a minimum viable product of, hey, I can upload stuff and I can put it on my page. And that's really step one, which it does mean there's some initial investment to be done before any real money can be made, which of course is the same thing for, well, anything I'm going to make by hand. But I think it's good to have a free tier. It means it means people can use it without having to pay anything up front, and they can decide if they like it or not, again, without having to pay anything. And then if they are enjoying it and they think that it's a benefit to their community, because Twitch is really about building communities and engaging your viewers. And in Pastry's case, and I think in other streamers' cases, you very often have streamers making something for a user based on a redeem. So they'll be like, hey, draw me my like little icon, draw me my character. They redeem stuff for all the Twitch artists, and I think that'd probably be the target group, but really you could put any image in that panel. So that's the panel. That's where we're at with that one. I think this one was a much smaller endeavor overall initially, because the panel, I think it took me like about a week to 2 weeks to make this one, but to extend it further out is going to take a little bit longer. Anybody have any questions? So that's pretty much all I had to say about the panel. I don't know how long it will take me to get a minimum viable product of the free one up. I worked on it a little bit last week. And the week before, but kind of got really stuck on one particular thing and just recently solved it. So web development can be a pain in the ass. But yeah. Are there anybody have any questions before I move on? So that's pretty much all I wanted to say about it so far. I doubt we're going to be able to get to show up because everything gets cached. But Nina made a really cool GIF. Oh, it just barely showed up. Yeah, Jideo, you could definitely make a Burgie gallery and put all your Burgies in it. That would be good too. I might just show it off stream. I think I can find it in my files. Or I mean, not in the panel itself. But I really like the loading GIF that Nina made. See if I can find it real quick. Here it is. So she made this little loading GIF so that I could put it up on screen while the gallery is initially loading. But it happens really fast, honestly. So there's very little buffering time, which is good. But on the off chance that somebody has a really slow connection, or for the very first time that you come to the page, none of the images are cached because you've never seen them. And it'll take a little bit longer. So yeah, that's about it. So now let's talk about the Toaken Roller. The Toaken Roller is a totally different app. It's another Twitch extension, but it's a desktop one. So on my, let me close some stuff here. And I can open it up real quick. So for Twitch, you have channel point redeems. And channel points are basically a fake currency where you can configure down here. Mine are these little leaves that I call tokens, which is a bit confusing because I also called the thing, like the 3D models that I'm going to show in a second, tokens. But you can see here that you can sort of redeem different things. And I'm going to open up my, oh shoot, what is it called? I haven't streamed in a long time, so now I've forgotten what the name of the... What the hell is the name of the thing that plays the sounds and stuff? What is it called? Mm. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking so hard. It's not even in here. Sammy, that's what it is. Sammy. Okay. So you can connect different applications to your Twitch account. And I mean, some of these things are like channel point redeems, you know, you can send a message with a highlight, for example. So when I send it in the chat, oops, you know, it shows up with certain text effects, and those are, you know, built into Twitch. But you can also connect to them externally from different applications. So Sammy, this is an app that someone else has made, but it's used often with Twitch, and you can connect it to Twitch and then activate different things. So this one, for example, the fox plays a sound, and you can get them to do all kinds of things. But I built an app. I built an app, which I'll show here, called Toaken Roller, that you can connect to your Twitch account. So right now, here it's getting connected. I've already logged in with my computer, you know, with this account before, so it does it automatically now on startup, which is quite nice. But you can put in your Twitch channel, you connect to it, and then you pick a channel point redeem from your list. So these ones here are the same as the ones that are listed, you know, actually in Twitch, and they're configured in Twitch. So you set them up in Twitch, you set their price and how often they can be redeemed. Like this one right now is set to 999,000 because I didn't want anyone to be able to do it. But I still wanted to be able to use it for testing. So I can see it here, like Token Roll. And I can save that. And then I have some other random settings here, like what colors to show for the models and stuff. Oh, I definitely have a bug because this isn't updating live. But essentially what you do then is you import models. Oh, shoot. You import models into the application from from wherever, you know, from your own little collection. So I have a bunch here, like we can have this banana one, drag that in, and it'll tell you if it was successful or not, basically. So you can save that import and reload here. So I've got banana, and banana is essentially, oh, it's banana. So you can see the 3D model here. You can change the rotation speed and stuff. Like maybe I really want it to spin fast. You can change the X, Y, Z offset and the name. And then it goes into a rarity. So now, right now, I only have common rarity, which is this blue bar, and then I have the unsigned, empty. Basically, it doesn't have any rarity at all. So we can go over to rarities, and in rarities you have the rarities for when the redeem is redeemed. How often will that model be chosen, basically? Like what percentage chance do you have to roll that? So kind of like a casino or a loot box, basically. And I'm going to change the, you know, common to, let's say common is 50%. I can have this other rarity at 30. We'll call it less common. And then we'll put this one at 19 because I want that 1% left over. Test one. And then we need one more. So you can go all the way down to this small, 0.001%, which is really 1 in 1 million chance. And any model in this rarity would have a 1 in 1 million chance to be found, basically. But I will just start with this. So we'll call this one like ultra rare. And this one other less, oops, common. Okay, just silly names. Oops, I missed something. So 50, 30, 29. I needed this to be 19. Okay. So these rarities, you can see them here then, and I could put this model into the rarities. I'll just add a couple more so that I have one on each. You can do 2D images as well. So I'll drag in the mini face here, which is just literally an image of a face, and we'll put that in common as well or something. You can delete them, get rid of them if you want, though it will get rid of them for everyone's inventory. So I'm going to add just a couple of these crazy ones here. So you can do multi-file and everything should work out fine. Now I can drag them around, put them in the ones that I want. And when you run a roll, what happens is it picks from the random rarities. It rolls basically a random number, picks from that rarity, and then finds the model. So this is a test roll I'm running. You can see like it's showing it twice because I also have it being captured by OBS. So you can send you can send data to OBS, which is the software that I use to capture streaming, what a lot of people use, via something called Spout. So in my sources for OBS, I'll just show it real quick if I can find it. Under Twitch, where the hell did I put it? Oh, Twitch bots. Okay, so all I have to do is say, hey, who is sending me video that I want to capture? So that's the Toaken Roller app. And then how often do I want to look for new senders, which it doesn't affect anything. I also added a background that lets people change what the background of the Token Roll preview looks like. So anyways, when I run a test roll, like you can see it doesn't show up here on this image, but it's because it's showing up on stream because it's being captured by OBS. And then you can, hide it, show it in OBS. You can move it around. You can move around the source. And then it also sends in chat the command, or it sends to the chat because it's connected to your Twitch account, the information that a certain user has rolled something. So you can then see it, here. And yeah, this text in the box are changed by these two colors. It really should be updating these, but I definitely have a bug. The roll spacing is like how long in between multiple rolls, if many people have them. The pre-open timer is how long it bounces around on the screen before it opens. And then linger is how long does it stay on screen before it goes away. So like how long does the image stay there? I might just make this like 10 seconds. So I'm going to open up the actual redeem now, which I can do in here. So I can edit them as the streamer like this to change their cost. And so obviously nobody wants to spend 999 points, so I'm just going to make it 10. And I will do this. So the other thing about it to note is that when your roll is done, right, it saves that to your inventory for that specific user. And then the users can type like INV right now, and it says I have no tokens. Oh, right, because I don't have any. This is a new database. And I was running it with a test roll. But Gidio just did it, and I'll do it real quick too, so that I have one in my so that I have one in my inventory. Gidio got the banana, and then it says, yeah, the chat command. So the chat command here is saying that Gidio has the banana. Oh shit, I can't see it because of the opening thing. I just got the oak banana, spitting, and again, I can then type the INV command. So right now the INV command just prints out like everything you have. I think in the future I'll probably change that so it doesn't only work with, or so it doesn't just spam the chat. I have a couple different ideas we'll go over in a bit, but right now with the current state, it basically just prints out the name and the quantity of each. Let's see, what else? So I think that's pretty much it. I'll leave that up for now, and I'm gonna go back to my slides here. So that's where I'm at. Basically where I'm gonna try to go then. So there's still quite a bit to be done with this, and the end goal is that people will basically like purchase it as a one-time fee probably. So the phase one of this would be I just upload it to Steam or to itch.io, another website for uploading different applications for smaller creators, and they pay like $10, let's say, and they just get the executable and they can run it and use it. That would be phase one. And so right now I'm still not quite there. I have one test user. It's also Pastry. They're my guinea pig ×2. So they are being a guinea pig for me with both the panel and the Toaken Roller. I'm certainly looking for more guinea pigs if other people are interested. It's good just to have test users basically this early on. But all that's to say, I'm still in development of it. It's not quite ready for like the full public, I guess, because I think it needs a little bit more to be ready. So some of the things that I want to add, I want to juice it up in software world, or really in the game development world. Juicing something is adding the niceties to it, like adding sounds, adding cool stuff that makes it visually and audio-wise more appealing. So it doesn't have any sound right now. I want to add sounds, add like a mute button, of course, add the ability to turn the sounds up and down, maybe even the ability to customize what sound gets played when you open it. I want to add text effects, so different colors and shaders. If you look at the test roll right now, as it stands, when I run this, you can see it's like just one color, and it just says test users rolling, and then it says the name of the this is the name of the rarity, so that it's common rarity, and it says the name of the model. So what I would like to be able to do is like imagine that for rare or ultra rare, instead of being just one text color, it is like golden yellow, or it shimmers with like a shininess to it, and it has some sort of animation to the text effect. Maybe it bounces slightly or does something like that. So the goal would be to make it more exciting when you get a rarer or a more rare model, and that you're being visually shown that it's more rare too, not just by the name, but by the text effect. I want to get a color palette and stick to it. So right now, everything is just like monotone gray. I mean, the users won't really see this, or I mean, viewers of the user won't see this as much, so it's not as important. Like, this isn't the end product. The product is like opening the model, and the model is totally controlled by the user, so what it looks like is up to them. But I still think it would be good to put some effort into picking a more modern color theme, a more upbeat, like fun color theme. I don't really know anything about color theory. I bought a book on it. I still have to learn. Or maybe I can get some help from somebody like Nina to assist me in working on making it more visually appealing, just from a UI perspective. So that's what I mean when I say color palette here. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the new, smaller animation. I think this is the next pretty big thing. So currently, the animation takes up a lot of the stream's real estate. So for me, I always thought it was like the main point, and I didn't mind it taking up a lot of the area. But if you imagine this gray box as the stream, then the token opens in this red box, the machine opens up here on the right, and this whole pink area, the thing bounces around. So when I run this test roll, you can see it goes all over the entire screen. It takes up a lot of it. And if you had something in the bottom right of the screen, so if I were trying to show you something down here, you can't see it because the machine is there. And you can't see stuff in the middle when the thing is opening because it's set to be open in the middle. What I originally thought was that users could maybe just move the thing around. So in OBS, of course, you can move stuff around visually, like the sources. So see, I can move this. But the problem is if you shrink it or crop it, then everything changes and you can't see just the model. It's really not great for a user if they don't care about the whole bouncing around and all they want is this opening thing of the loop box, So rather than this, I think I'll still keep an option like this in case people want it, because I think it's fun when it bounces around like that. But I think instead I need to update it so that it's more like this, where I change, instead of using the whole stream and expecting a user to use the whole screen, to treat the stream's real estate space as a commodity and that people are going to want to reserve as much of it as possible, and to make a much smaller one that can be tucked into the corner. So again, right now, if I were to tuck this into the corner, let me just demonstrate. So if I wanted to put this in the top right the way I have it, and I run a test roll, you can see it's tiny. You can't tell what's going on. You can't see anything. There's not really a good way to totally cut it out. Like you can barely see the banana that just got opened. But you might want to be able to just see what you see in the middle. I've totally screwed up the aspect ratio of this capture. Oh well. So the idea then would be to take this thing that's in the middle, the rolling notification and the actual opening up here, and make that the only thing there is. So no more bouncing around. And instead just have something like this, where it's a Pokemon ball or these little capsules that you get out of like a toy machine, and it just wiggles back and forth, in one place and opens up, so that it doesn't take up a bunch of space on screen. Because right now it just shows, it takes up too much real estate, and not every user is going to want this, and this would be enough to deter somebody from using it. So I don't want somebody to not use the utility, to not use this extension just because it takes up too much space. And then it does have, I do have some commands planned for the future. I think right now INV and roll are the only two. So if I wanted to, I can do !roll and then a user's username, and I can roll for that user specifically. So I just did it and rolled for Gidio. That's like a way for the broadcaster to be in control and say, okay, I want to give a free roll to somebody, so they can do that. And now Gidio got a free roll on me. But there are a couple more commands that I wanted to add. So these would be for the viewer themselves to run in the chat. So most would show which model they have the most of. Last would show the most recent one they've just gotten. And then INV plus the token name, which might be a little awkward because I don't know if they're really going to know the names of the tokens, but the names of the 3D models that are loaded in. But if they did, for example, you could do INV and then the name, and then it would show how many of those you have. Another thing which I actually forgot to put here is it'd be cool to have like a brag thing like this, and it shows the most rare one you have or something. It shows that you have some, let's say you have some super ultra rare one, and you want to show that off. Then maybe some kind of redeem based around brag. The other thing is I have it listed here as commands or redeems. So commands are something you just type in chat, and that means that anyone could do it at any time. all they have to do is be watching. But it could be that you don't want somebody to be able to spam it. So right now, for example, if I just kept typing INV, I could spam the chat with lots of junk, and a broadcaster might not want that. So if you made them as redeems, just like the channel point redeem for rolling it in the first place, then you have a lot more control over how often people can do it, because you can add a cooldown, or you can configure the amount of times that they can run it. And then, of course, you can do this supply-demand style, where if you make it more expensive via the channel points, then people can do it less frequently, or they'll be less inclined to do it just for fun. For example, maybe brag is like a really expensive because you want people to be able to brag, but it's almost like, you know, the rich can brag and the poor can't. So you create that little bit of like capitalism rivalry, if that's what you wanted. These aren't a real currency, by the way. You just get this from watching. Oh, you can't see it. Shoot. Well, yeah. My point is, you know, these points you just get them from watching a streamer. So you earn them as you watch, and they can't be exchanged for real money. They just are used to redeem different effects on a stream. So those are some of the commands I want to add. And then some of the other features, these are just some small things to note. I think it'd be cool if GIFs could be loaded. So instead of just a 2D image, the way that the picture is when it shows up, which is like this mini face 2, it'd be cool to add, oh, I got it anyways. That's good timing. It'd be cool to make it so that GIFs could be uploaded. And then you could imagine there's a lot of fun things people could do with GIFs. I want to improve the lighting. So on some of the models, especially like the larger ones that are closer up. This is why I had to add offsets, by the way, because you can accidentally get into the middle of the camera, which is kind of funny. But I need to also improve these. It's kind of hard to tell what offset you need to edit. But you can see right here, especially, the lighting is kind of funky because I don't think I have it set up in a way that's good lighting practice. So you can see the light is kind of stationary. You get these highlight spots, and then it's really dark and the shadows are weird. So I'd like it to be more intelligently lit, which is not a skill that I really have, and I'm gonna have to look up lighting theory. But it's something for my future plan, definitely. So lighting just looks so strange. I mean, it looks especially bad when I look really close at this one. And then I'd like to be able to show the queue. Oh, I forgot to. So I'd like to be able to show the queue. If many people redeem one after the other, it does queue them up. So I'll go like this, run test roll. I can click it a bunch of times, and it won't actually run them all at the same time. It queues them up, but the queue is all behind the scenes, so you don't know how many people are in line and how many people are still left. And I think it'd be nice if it could show the user, it should show the broadcaster, like how many and who is in line to get the next ones. Where? And then, oh, user inventory. So there's also no way to see in the app right now what the users have, which models. So it is saved and it's all in there, but there's no visual representation of it in the tool. It's all data just hidden in the background. And I want to bring that to the foreground so that people can see it, maybe even give them the ability to edit it, like add or remove stuff from people's inventory if they want to sort of moderate it. Like let's say a roll got screwed up and or something about the data got screwed up and it didn't get saved. I could see people being upset that they rolled some rare thing and then it didn't even get added. So to have the moderation ability to go back and add it yourself would be nice, I think. So that's phase one. And that's kind of where I'm headed. That's the initial one that's just selling like a standalone application that people connect to their Twitch account. So it wouldn't be, it'd be like a one-time purchase or whatever. I have a plan for a phase two. It's much longer term. And I think it has the potential to be even more engaging and have more people use it. And probably be more financially viable, but it's going to take a lot more effort to do as well. So that's kind of where I have it in this tiered phase approach as well, just kind of like the panel. And there's a reason why the art panel especially was a good prototype for me, because it was a stepping stone sort of for what I wanted to do for the phase two of this token roller. So the art panel lets you integrate with Twitch and show, different data straight up on the web page. And then this desktop application lets you connect to Twitch, but it's all running from your computer. So phase two of the token roller would be sort of to combine these two ideas. It would be, instead of a local storage of all the data, you put it in the cloud. Instead of configuring it locally, you configure it in Twitch via the extension config, the same way that you would see it here if there was one for this panel. There could be a browser source, so this is a more common way for people to connect stuff with OBS, and it would be no installation of any app. They would just be able to use, after they signed up, they could just use the browser source and control it maybe from the website as well, like moderation and inventory and all that stuff. And then I think the biggest thing is right now the users can only really see stuff when they go into chat, and then they just type it, and all they really see is the name. I did forget to mention that one of the things with these commands is like brag would show the 3D model on screen. So it would pop up just like when you do the roll, rather than just text. But the point is still, the users can't really see the model. So if I wanted to show off that I got, the banana, there's really no way to, or the Skidoo head, there's no way to see this for the user right now. Or like this banana. So the website would also have the models stored. Like people would upload the models to the site, and then viewers could look at their inventory in 3D on a web page rather than, again, having to only be able to see it in chat. So it'd be something where it could also be a panel, just like the art panel, where the users, you can get the user information and authenticate against a specific user in a panel. So this could be my models, and it could show me my list of the ones that I've earned, or it could be a general panel where it shows the list of ones that are possible and the rarities that are possible for the user, like what the broadcaster has configured, and be able to see them in real time, again, underneath the stream. So if my stream's up here, you just scroll down, you're seeing them here. And that would be the panel. The component itself, components are a little bit different. They show up alongside the stream. So a component extension would show up like over here on the right or something while you're watching, or the left, depending on how your stream configured. So this is almost an example of a component that's like intended for certain audiences, but you could make your own. And so mine would maybe be like a thing that shows people their inventory. But to do all this is a lot of web development, and it is a lot of website setup, which can be kind of rough. It'll cost upkeep because I'll have to have cloud computing and cloud storage, and it will take a long time to get a lot of this set up. So web development, I don't feel is very quick unless you need to do something simple, and I don't think that this is simple enough to be a quick job. So this would take me a little while, and I just don't think it's viable to get done in the time that I have. And the last thing for phase 2 would be bits support. So bits I mean, for those of you who don't know, so I know there are people in here that don't really watch Twitch as much. Bits are like the channel points that are actual money. So channel points are fake currency that you get for watching. Bits are real currency. It's a currency that you get with real money, I guess I should say. So you pay out of pocket and you purchase bits. And then you can use bits to do different things. So these are the generic ones that Twitch has enabled, right? So you could pay 40 bits, which is essentially 40 cents, and you can get this like Pog image to show up. This, shouting snake. Or you can make an emote really big with 30 bits. It costs you 30 cents to do this, essentially. Right now, with the redeem for the token roller, it's only set up to work with bits. With channel points, which means it doesn't cost any real money. It's not being used with like real currency. If I enabled it with bits though, I as a developer could get a percentage of the bit that was used. So if a broadcaster set it up to cost 40 bits and somebody redeemed it, I might get like 1/10 of a penny or something insane like that. I don't even know what it really is. But the point is, I could technically earn revenue by enabling bit support. I think this is possible. And according to Twitch's guidelines, which I believe I'm interpreting correctly, it should be fine, because the rule is that awarding loot boxes that include an element of randomness, which is exactly what I'm doing, is permitted so long as contents of the loot box do not have any monetary value. It cannot be purchased as a standalone item, and the items are not sold elsewhere. So that would also be true of mine. You can't do anything with these. They're literally just a record of, hey, you did roll this, you got it in your random draw, while watching the stream. So I could foresee doing this. Another reason to do it might be that certain streamers could prefer it. So it might be something that they do think it's fun or they enjoy doing it, but streamers also would like to earn money. Broadcasters also want to earn something. That's, a lot of the reason why some people do it. And if they could enable the bits on their page, then they'll get, of course, most of it. Like almost all of it, I think. Because Twitch takes their cut when you purchase bits, not when you use them. So the incentive for them would be, hey, I've got this new thing now where people come to my stream and they use bits to do these random rolls. And as a broadcaster, I am getting monetary reward for that. So I could see users wanting it, I guess. And I think it could be valuable for me to do, but I don't think I plan to do it for the first phase. I think this is a phase 2 kind of thing. Or maybe a phase 1.5. We'll see. So yeah, that was a lot of rambling, but that's kind of what tech demos tend to be. I just wanted to show off how the stuff works and what it looks like and what you can do with it. I really only have test users right now. I don't have like I don't have it officially released yet, but I hope to be able to do that soon. I think if I just clean up a couple more edges and make sure that it's not gonna break down, then it'll be ready for a broader public, I suppose. So yeah, that's pretty much it.